Let me give you three of the most popular lies that we are believing in the United States of America today. That we are like a fish swallowing the hook all the way down. We are believing these lies. Let me give you three of the most popular. The first is this. The first lie we believe is that America is a systemically racist nation. That's the first lie that we are swallowing down, and the masses are jumping on board with that lie, aren't they? They're just jumping on board, believing it. A systemically racist nation, that's what we believe. That the entire collection of our institutions, our government, and our economy is bent against minorities. That's the lie that we're told. That's the lie that people are believing. What does the word systemic mean? Systemic racism. Well, the word systemic comes from a word system. A system. A system is a group of processes designed to accomplish a specific outcome. And we're trying to do so. We create a system that produces something in the end. Dana and I like to watch those food shows. I especially like the ones where they show you how they make food. Have you ever seen those? There's one called Food Factory. And it's a Canadian show, so they have all these weird words, like pasta. They don't talk about pasta. I say pasta. First time I was like, dang, what are they making? What's a pasta? It's pasta, apparently, to those Canadians. Well, in that Food Factory, they always go in and they show you the inner workings of the production. And those production facilities are made up of systems. They're basically just systems. And so what they will do is they will, for example, if they're making potato chips, that system is designed all the way through to find the bad product and get it out before it gets to the packaging line and gets into your bag of chips. So from the very beginning, the system is identifying potatoes that are too large or too small. And it's filtering those out. Those go somewhere else. I don't know what they do with them. Maybe they make French fries out of them. But they'll pull them out because they want a certain size potato. And then they'll go through and they'll peel them, and then they'll have scanners and picture-taking equipment that will show you where there's a bad one, like with a dark spot in it, you know? And then that'll be kicked out. And then as it goes on down through the line, as they get sliced up and they're going through these fast assembly lines, they have metal detectors. And those metal detectors are making sure that there are no pieces of metal. And they have these, I don't know how they do it. It's amazing how they do it. But the chips will be moving 20 miles an hour down an assembly line. And they'll go through this metal detector, and they will identify where the metal is, and right as it exits the machine, a puff of air will blow it and pop that metal out. It's a system. It's designed to get what you want out at the end, but to keep all the unwanted stuff from happening. That's a system. So if America is systemically racist, that is, if all of our systems are designed against minorities, then minorities in positions of power, minorities in positions of authority, minorities experiencing wealth should be very minimum in our country. You see what I'm saying? Like a system trying to keep the bad chips out, the American system will keep the bad people out, the people that it doesn't like, the minorities, right? That's what a systemically racist nation would do. Now let's ask ourselves, let's look at the facts, and let's see if America is keeping minorities out in a systemic way. Let's look at some facts here. And most of America doesn't care about the facts anymore, but we're going to tell them what they are. Did you know that 23% of the congressmen and women who were just sworn in a few months ago in the U.S. Congress are minorities? Did you know that? 23% are black, Latino, Asian, whatever minority you want to identify. 23%. That's a pretty bad system, isn't it? If you've got all those chips going down and 23% of them are too big or too small or have blemishes or have metal in them, that's a pretty bad system, isn't it? In fact, it's the 6th straight year the record was broken for minorities in Congress. So in other words, every year that they were swearing in new congressmen and women, they were breaking the old record for the number of minorities. 6 straight years. Did you know that's a 97% increase from year 2001? So in the last 20 years, we've doubled the number of minorities in the Congress. Did you know in 1981, 94% of Congress was white? But in 2021, 40 years later, only 77% is white. Did you know 74% of the NBA is black? 3/4 of the players are black. And the minimum salary in the NBA is $898,000 a year. 68% of the NFL is black. The minimum salary there is $660,000 a year. Do you know that by definition, if you make it into the NBA, if you make it into the NFL with those salary numbers, you are automatically in the top 1% of income earners in the nation? Systemically racist, though, right? Do you know that Michael Jordan is worth $1.6 billion, the black basketball player from the 90s? When it was really racist back then. Remember, it was bad then. Oprah Winfrey, the black entertainer, is worth $2.6 billion. That's $2,600 million. $2,600 million in the United States of America. A black lady is worth that. Did you know that Jesse Jackson, the advocate for civil rights, is worth $9 million? Did you know that Patrice Cullors, C-U-L-L-O-R-S, I think I'm trying to pronounce that properly, I may be mispronouncing it, one of the co-founders, a woman co-founder, a black lady that's a co-founder of the Black Lives Matter, is worth $2 million. Do you know in the last 20 years we've elected a black female vice president? And do you know that we re-elected a man who was black, served 2 terms as president of the United States? And did you know he's worth $40 million? A few years ago, I took some classes down at Webster University down in Charleston. They have a satellite campus down there. And I took a couple of classes down there, graduate level courses. And in one class, I believe there were 19 students in that one class. This is a graduate level class, 19 students. The other, there were 21 students. In the class with 19, there were 16 black individuals in there and only 3 white. In the 21-person class, 20 out of 21 were black. I was the only white person in there. Did you know in both of those classes, the professors were black? And did you know that the lady that ran that satellite office was also black? And most of the people in those classes, I talked to them, they were using their GI benefits to pay for the courses. You say, well, they earned that, they should get it. They should. They should. But in a systemically racist nation, you would make sure that no matter whether they were supposed to get the benefits or not, they wouldn't get them because the system would boot them out. They'd find a reason to keep them from doing it. And I remember sitting there in that class and going, where is the racism? Where is it? If the system is designed to keep minorities out, it is doing a terrible job of it. The real reason blacks and others do so well in this nation is that the truth about America is exactly the opposite of what we are told. This nation is the greatest nation of opportunity. Man, woman, black, white, Asian, Native American, it doesn't matter. If you want a place for opportunity, this is the place for opportunity. It's a lie. But we're swallowing it like a big old fat night crawler.